What's going on, everyone? Thanks so much for joining me today. This is video 2 in the series of Dryfire. In this video, we're going to be going over the 4 rules of gun handling. First, what is Dryfire? Dryfire is the simulated firing of a weapon system where no live ammunition is being introduced into the training. Creates a safe environment. So let's go over the 4 rules. Rule number 1, making sure that your finger is off the trigger and weapon dependent, such as an AR or 1911. Weapon is on safe unless your sights are on target and are actively engaging the target. Once the engagement is done, the finger needs to come off the trigger, back on a reference point, and weapon goes back on safe. So for new shooters or people that keep putting their finger on the trigger, I just say, hey man, finger. And most of the time they start becoming self-aware and they catch themselves with the finger on the trigger. And then they start correcting into themselves, and after a while it becomes habitual where they keep their finger off the trigger when they're not engaging, and it just creates a safe environment. Next is not pointing your weapon at anything that you do not wish to destroy. So a lot of times, even with unloaded guns, people point the guns at things that they're not supposed to, and when I correct them on that, sometimes I get a little pushback with, oh, the gun's unloaded. Well, if you build the habit of pointing guns at things or not aware of where the gun's being pointed when the gun's unloaded, you're going to do that when the gun is loaded. So this is a good opportunity to build a habit of knowing where your weapon is pointed at all time. So with a handgun, a lot of times, if it doesn't need to be out, go ahead and put it in the holster. But building in the habit of muzzle discipline. Rule number 3 is 2 parts: target ID and target area. First is target ID. The key word here is know. You have to know your target ID. So you can't be shooting at shapes or movement. You have to positively visually identify a threat or your target. So how do you do that? Well, you can help start to identify a potential threat by verbally challenge it. You can say, who's there? I'm armed, get out. If you're in your home, you can turn on flashlights. If it's dark out, you can use handheld flashlights or weapon mount flashlights. But you have to visually identify your target and make sure that they are not some innocent. You have to visually confirm that they are a threat before you start sending around down range. All right, target area. That means what's in front, sides, and beyond the target. So you have to do kind of a quick scan. So with this situation, there's nothing in front. There's nothing to the sides that could come running in and running from the target. However, there's a potential no-shoot behind it. So how do we engage this target? Depending on the situation, we could sidestep, clearing a path beyond the target. To the left, we could move to the right, or we could take a knee and send rounds up. If you're in, let's say, a really tight environment like a hallway and we can't move left or right, you may need to change your elevation to send rounds up so that it misses anything behind it. And last but not least is know what condition your weapon is in. So know if it's loaded, know if it's not. How many rounds are in the magazine? If you've been shooting, do you need to top it off? So how do we know if it's loaded or unloaded? Well, you remove the magazine, the end magazine's empty. That doesn't mean that it's unloaded, but we still need to confirm. Lock the slide to rear, check the chamber, check the magazine well. I know that this gun is unloaded. I know it is. What about the rifle? There's a round in the chamber, round in the magazine. So I know that this weapon is loaded. So if I've been shooting this one, do I need to top it off? Maybe, but that is definitely something to consider. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please ask them. I will do the best I can to answer them. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers, and I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.